Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Let's preview game number 11. Next to the last game of the season is on November 22nd at home against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now, that's Diego Pavia. Now, I knew about him the year before because I used to win money on FanDuel off of him because I watched New Mexico State. That's who he played for in 2023. They won 9 games. They went to Auburn and beat Auburn's ass on their home field. Auburn thought that was going to be an easy game. No, they turned out to be a really good team. Now, at the end of the year, the head coach retires. The offensive coordinator's hired by Vanderbilt. Of course, Diego Pavia and some other offensive linemen and other players from New Mexico State go to Vanderbilt. So that's how Vanderbilt got good. They got a lot of New Mexico State players. However, we got one of their best offensive linemen because one of their offensive linemen, the best one, stayed behind. And then last year, he decided, you know what, I want to play in the SEC too. He was going to go to Vanderbilt, but we talked him out of it. Came to Kentucky. You'll see him. Like I said, we'll talk about him later. CLJ Pete, projected to go to the NFL, full-blooded Native American, ripped dude. You'll notice him this year. Our offensive line is going to be a lot better. People are just not giving us any credit for the offensive lineman we got. We're going to be able to run the ball. But let's talk about Vanderbilt here. Let's talk about last year's game. We lost 2013 at home. Bad loss. There were a couple third downs. Pavia ran when everybody was, covered. He ran. They had 288 yards of offense. We had 322 yards of offense. They had 143 yards passing. We had 158 yards passing. They had 145 yards rushing. We had 164 yards rushing. They averaged 5.2 yards a play. We averaged 5.6 yards a play. We lost. We out every category we won. So they went 7-6 last year, and we went 4-8. So how did they go 7-6 when we basically had the same team? I mean, the same level, because they fought like hell. Diego Pavia, he's going to fight you. And look, he's talking smack this year. I wouldn't do that. Look, I wouldn't talk smack against the SEC, but he's talking smack. And you know what? They fought like hell, and that's how they won. You look at last year. They had wins over Virginia Tech, Alcorn State, Alabama, Ball State, Auburn, Kentucky, and they beat Georgia Tech in a bowl. So they had 7 wins. Their losses were Georgia State. Don't know how they lost to Georgia State. Missouri, Texas by a field goal. They had Texas on the ropes. I'm going to tell you right now, I watched that game, 27-24. Texas had a hard time with them because, once again, they were undermanned, but they fought like hell, which is what we need to do. Fight like hell. That's how they stayed in games. That's how they won games. They lost to South Carolina, LSU, and Tennessee. But a couple of those games were close. Not the Tennessee game. But, yeah, they were 7-6. We were 4-8. They were able to fight. We just gave up. About halfway through the season, we won't go over that again, but you know what happened. Now, this year, if you look at the power rankings, especially for the SEC, we are 35th. Mississippi State is 53, dead last in the power rankings. Vandy, 57. U of L is 42, by the way. So we're ahead of U of L, Mississippi State, Vandy. But Vanderbilt didn't get much of a recruiting class. They didn't pick up players out of the portal. So therefore, they didn't do a lot to improve their team. So I don't know why the Pavia is talking smack. He can't do it by himself. So their over-under in Vegas is the same as ours, 4.5 wins. So they're not projected to do anything. But once again, you get a team that's not that good but still fights like hell, they will find a way to win. And that's what we have to do. So, yes. Last year, let's talk about their offense and defense last year. I didn't think anybody's offense in SEC was worse than ours, but their offense is 8 spots worse than ours. And ours was awful. They averaged 318 yards a game. They averaged 178 yards passing and 139 yards rushing, 27.5 points per game. So, yeah, that wasn't great. But wow, we were ahead of that, so I can't believe it. So yes, they did not average a lot. Barely 300 yards a game. But like I said, once again, they fought like hell. Defensively, they were 75th. Not good. Once again, we were 40 something, 41 or something like that. We were 44. They were 75. They gave up 376 yards a game. They gave up 233 pass and 140 rush. They gave up basically right at 23 and a half points per game. So, yeah, once again, you look at the numbers and you go, how did they win 7 games? Well, like I said, attitude has a lot to do with it. Now, they don't have a lot of people. They have some people returning, but they don't have a lot of people returning. Their number one offensive weapon is a tight end named Eli Stowers, and he's their top target. Wide receiver room is thin. They only have 2 really good receivers, and that's Junior Sherrill, and then they picked up Mississippi State's Trent Hudson. He played at New Mexico State before that. They have a cornerback that's converting to wide receiver, okay? That's how slim they are on wide receivers. Yeah, I don't know this guy, Martell Height. He was a cornerback, and he's trying to be a wide receiver. It might work out, but yeah, they're thin. They're thin at running back. They really only have one decent running back, and that's a guy named Cedric Alexander, and he's coming back. But other than that, once again, their offense is going to be Pavia. You know, if nobody's open, the dude's going to take off running. So, now one thing about their defense, their front 7 is going to be solid. Their front 7 is deep, so they have a lot of defensive linemen. They can rotate in and out. They have a weak pass rush due to the linebackers being average. So that's what's being said, is that their linebackers are average. Excuse me. Their defensive backs are solid, but at cornerback, but they are thin at safety. So yeah, that's the Vanderbilt Commodores, folks, and we are going there to Nashville, and we need to win that game. We cannot be losing to Vanderbilt. I don't care who the quarterback is. We should be able to run the ball on these guys. We just got to be able to stop that quarterback, because he's going to take off just like he did last. If you go back and watch the film last year, I went back and watched some of the highlights. He's a shifty quarterback. He does it to everybody. He beat Auburn. He beat Alabama. And I called the Alabama win. When they were playing in Nashville, I told a couple of my friends, bet on Vanderbilt, and they did. And they won some money off of that, because I knew he was good. Yeah, so he's the team. Now, like I said, if I was him, I wouldn't be talking smack, but, you know, you're going to have to pay for that at some point. But that is a breakdown of the Vanderbilt Commodores game 11. If you haven't seen the video I just put out, we watched film on Diego Pavia. That's why I'm telling you, watch the film. Go back and watch the video I just posted on him, where we watched film on him. He's good. I mean, I don't know if he'll play in the NFL. He's not that good, but at a college level, he's really good. He could play for just about anybody and start. So yeah, go back and watch that. One more game left to preview, and that's Louisville, at Louisville. So we will do that next. First, we will preview their quarterback, and then we'll preview the game. If you are watching this video and you have not subscribed, guys, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the first game on August 30th. Also, there's a shorts portion of my channel where we go over football players and basketball players from the past. And I do have a basketball section on my channel, a playlist. So check out the basketball playlist. And we will do basketball also. So Louisville's up next. Thanks for watching.